Hi Flosstube, I'm Sally, StitchySally here on YouTube and also over on Instagram. Today is Wednesday the 13th of September 2023 and this is Flosstube number 59. A very warm welcome, whether you are a returning viewer or a new viewer, it is lovely to have you here. If you're not subscribed and you like what you see, please do consider subscribing, hitting the like button, leaving me a comment, and please remember, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. I have seen a couple of Flosstubers recently who have had not so nice comments, so yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that. So today it's slightly cooler than we've had. I'm still a bit warm actually, it's warming up a little bit, but we did have quite a start to September. It was really warm. Thankfully here on the coast not as warm as it was in some areas of the country, but yeah, too much. So I'm going to get started and I'm going to start with my book of days. That's October. Getting ahead of myself. So that's it so far for September. Stickered it up a bit. And I have actually already started stickering up as well for October. Abby bought me some stickers. She spotted some stickers at the works, which is where she works, and yeah, she bought me a pack of stickers. I have to say, I don't think I'm going to get this year. It's lovely, don't get me wrong, you know, stitching related, it's absolutely brilliant for that. But Lynn the Lancashire Stitcher, she'd bought a 5-year planner from Amazon, hardback, and it's just so much more cost effective. This is lovely, but I think it's just a bit too much, I think, really. Like I say, it's lovely, it's stitching related, but I think a planner, you can still sticker it up and make it look pretty, so that is probably what I'm going to do. So first of all, I do want to share a little gift that I sent out to Yaz. Now quite a while ago, you may remember, I won one of Yaz's giveaways for her Never Forget chart. And I just wanted to do a little something just to say thank you for that win. So I thought it was straight and it isn't. It really isn't. And I was quite disappointed. But thankfully Yaz loves it. So yeah, this is what I stitched for her. And it's a little freebie from Heart in Hand. And it's Do What You Love. And apart from the fact that it's not particularly straight, I am really pleased with that. I had a vision in my head of how I wanted to finish it and it worked, and as I say, I'm happy to say that Yaz loved it. So yeah, like I say, it was just, I just wanted to send her something just as a little thank you for my win. Right, I have no finishes, I have no FFOs this time, so we'll just get straight into the whips. So my first one is this one, and it's designed by Emma Congdon, and it's The Simple Things, and it is in Cross Stitcher May 2021, which is issue number... Where's it? Oh, it's up there. 369. And I just love this. Absolutely love it. And Natalie, Home Sweet Home Handmade, she'd shown it. And I didn't really take that much notice of it. And then the Stitching Ewe on Instagram, she was stitching it. And I thought, do you know, that looks really nice. You know, when you see something being stitched, sometimes it makes a difference, even though it does look absolutely gorgeous on there. So I went on a hunt for the magazine. I didn't want to buy the digital issue. I much rather like having print. you know, printed charts, printed magazines. So I got it. So, and then Joanita, she'd seen me share the magazine and said, would you like to do a sal? So I said yes. So we are doing a stitch along of this, Joanita and I, and the Stitching Ewe, and Steve, Riven, Hain, Cucki Bliss on Instagram. Steve is on Instagram. And then Sallyann Crafting, Sallyann on Instagram. She was joining us, but she's given up on it now. She didn't like her fabric. The second skein of her thread was a different shade, and she'd had several visits from the frog. So I don't know if she'll ever start it again, but I was really sad to hear that she'd struggled with it. So I'm stitching this with DMC 798, which is just a slightly lighter shade to the one used on the model. And I'm stitching it on 32 count vintage Sun, which I absolutely love. I'm quite sad that, I've not seen it in like a 36 or 40. So I'm assuming that they only do it in a 32. It's a Swigart. Does not show very well on my camera on my laptop, but that is where I am at. So I also had a visit from the frog. So this here, and it's where the page splits into two. So far down it should actually be one across this way, yeah. And then this, this fence post here, I couldn't work out, I'd gone wrong somewhere and I couldn't work out where it was. And then all of a sudden I realised I'd only done 3 rows here when I should have done 4. And I thought, if I don't unpick that, I'm going to get further down onto the bit that goes around here. This bit here. And I'm going to think I've gone wrong and try and work out where I've gone wrong there, and I haven't, because I'm bound to forget. So I did unpick that and restitch it. This, I'm not entirely sure whether I'm going to leave it or whether I'm going to restitch it. So I do still have the birds to do up here, which I must remember to go back and do. So yeah, really enjoying that. It is a lovely stitch. And I'm so pleased that I did decide to pick the magazine up, because it has been a lovely stitch. Right, next one, the bane of my life. And if you've watched me before, you will know what this one is. It is The Long and Winding Road by Blackbird Designs, which is my Tuesday night stitch with my lovely friends Barb and Mouse, who is Michelle. I have had a few people saying, you know, who's Mouse? So yeah, she is actually called Michelle. So yeah, I have not enjoyed stitching this. It's been going better, but I just want to see the back of it, to be perfectly honest. I think it's just that, no disrespect obviously to Blackbird, but the colours are a bit drab, and there's also such like little bits here and there, so you just don't seem to be able to get on. But anyway, so I'm using mostly the called for Gentle Arts, but then lovely Gail's Golden Needle, I did mention last time, she sent me her conversion that she'd used, so I have swapped out Old Red paint for 3722 and I've swapped out Antique Rose for 152 DMC. So I'm stitching this on 36 count Vintage Country Mocha. And there it is, almost done. Thank the Lord. If I believed in the Lord, thank the Lord. Yeah. So there's lazy daisies to fill in. I think this is what I have to do now. If I no, I've just got the rest of this plant pot to fill in. A plant pot. It must be a plant pot because it's got a plant growing out of it. And then, yeah, there's lazy daisies. Now, I'd like to thank Dawn, because Dawn did send me a couple of links. Frosty X Stitch Dawn, showing me lazy daisies, but it just does not matter what I do. So thank you, Dawn, I really did appreciate it. It just doesn't matter what I do, I can't make them look neat, so I'm not even going to attempt it. So I think what I'm going to do when I pick it up again next week is just do a couple of little stitches in Oscar, just to make it look like leaves, and that'll do. So hopefully it will be finished next Tuesday, because I don't want to do it anymore. If it didn't look so gappy where the lazy daisies should be, it would be done now. Well, apart from obviously that bit that I have to fill in. So yeah, so next, when I finish that, I'm going to start one of these. Can't remember which one I decided to start. Might have been that one, but I'm not entirely sure. I do already have this one because Chris sent me this for our ornament exchange one year, so I do already have that one. I've got my fabric ready, so that's going to be my next start after I've finished the long and winding road. Right, next whip is Barbara Anna Designs Sailing Dreams, which I am stitching with lovely Sally, who is Flossy Sews and I've done it again. Flossy Sews and Grows here on Flosstube and also over on Instagram. And I did have to laugh. I watched Sally's Flosstube the other day, and she said she'd forgotten on Wednesday, and please don't tell Sally. So I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening, Sally, okay? So yeah, we stitch Barbara Anna's on a Wednesday. Obviously when Sally remembers, she does it as well. And she's been stitching the Nitkamoska, is that the right pronunciation? The seasonal girls, she's been stitching those. And I'm also stitching this as part of the seasonal sale hosted by Lynn, the Lancashire Stitcher. So I need to get this finished, because obviously if I decide to do the autumn, that's coming up. So these are, yeah, these are the colours. Yeah. There just looks to be a lot there, but there is quite a lot in it. So I was just thinking, then have I put something else in there and forgotten about it, because I do things like that. And I'm stitching this on, it's a fabric from Stash. I don't know what it is, but there she is. And there's some of the clouds and things are not showing up very well on that. So I don't have a massive amount to do, so I'm hoping to get that finished tonight. What do I have to do? I think all I've got left to do is some seagulls and seagulls and a bit of backstitch, I think, is all I have left to do. So yeah, absolutely love her. I think she's so beautiful. I've loved every single minute of stitching this. So, as I say, the autumn start date for the seasonal sal is the 23rd of September. And I still have Cosmic Dreams to go back to yet, which I was stitching in between finishing the spring one and starting the summer one. And I don't want to have too much left on the go before I start my 6 for 60 in December. So I don't know whether I'm going to do an autumn one. I should be able to get it done in time, but I'm just not entirely sure what to do yet. I would definitely like to do it, but we'll see how it goes. See what I decide to do. If I can get that finished tonight, which I should be able to finish it fairly quickly, and then get a bit done on Cosmic Dreams, see how much I get done. And then yeah, obviously I'll have next Wednesday as well, so I might get it finished anyway. So the next whip is Plum Street Samplers Pink House Sampler, affectionately known as the Big Ass Pink House Sal, which I am doing with my lovely friend Elaine, Ellie Welly's Stitcher. Yeah, I mean, it's been a challenge as this, but it's been a lovely stitch. It really has, and it continues to be a lovely stitch as well. Like I say, it has been a challenge. That big house is a challenge. The garden, the grass and stuff is a challenge. But yeah, it's been lovely. And Elaine's looks fantastic. She's doing it on a 36 count, I think it is, with the called for fancy flosses. And I'm in it with the DMC conversion on 25 count vintage country mocha 1/1. So that's how they look. One over that. Oops, sorry, glare. One over that side. So I do still have the flowers to fill in the grass. I don't know why I'm avoiding going back to do those, but that is how it is looking. And I do apologise for the light. It's not the greatest. I've got my ring light on, but I say it's my camera. My camera on my laptop is not very good. So as you can see, I have been working up the borders. So all I've done for now is just done the green, and I am now working across the top from this side. And then I think once that is done, I'll go back and I'll fill in all the flowers, and then I'll sort myself out now and come and fill all this slot in. And then I think once that is done, obviously I still have these, oops, sorry, these bits here to do. But I think what I might do first is just see how the quote that I want to put in here fits before I do this bit. I might just change maybe where it is. I may centralise it. I don't know. It depends on whether I can work it out. So yeah, that is how the Big Ass Pink House Sal is looking. And I do still have, I don't know if you can see it because it's a bit pale, this chimney to finish here. So I really do need to remember to do that because otherwise I'll get it framed and look and think, oh damn, we had a bit of a lightning strike on the chimney. Right, next one is my Friday night sheep sal with my very dear friend Barb, and this is Stitches Through the Years Happy Harvest, and you can find this in Lana's Etsy shop. I do have there is a Linktree link down below in the description box, and I have all 4 seasons of these. So I'm stitching this with DMC. They're not all there, and this is in my lovely Floss Keep that Boo's mummy made for me. It's in the bag as well, matching bag, which I absolutely love. And I'm going to stitch all of these on 40 count vintage country mocha. They're all going to go in the same frame, just going to swap them out each season. Obviously, we're into autumn. This is nowhere near, but it'll be done for next autumn. So I don't know what I'd done there. What I had done last time I showed this, but look at that massive sheep. This sheep looks like it is going to knock the house down. It's huge. Very, very cute there. So I do still have to go back and just fill some bits in on the house, but I just wanted to change, to be honest. So I have a white pumpkin here. I have this pumpkin here, which is part of the border. And as you can see, I've made a start on the border. Now I think I may have cut my fabric a little too short at the sides, but I was trying to get as much as I could out of my piece of fabric, trying to get 2 out of it. So it may well need, when I frame it, just some trim up the sides. And I keep saying to Abby, because Yaz showed, I think it was Yaz, yes it was, some autumny trim that she got from the works, and I said to Abby, have you got it? No, they haven't, and it's not on the website, so I keep hoping they'll get it in, but I think they've got all their autumn stuff now. So, but yeah, I thought that if I could get the trim. But somebody did show it. Who showed it? They've been to Hobbycraft. They've got some from Hobbycraft and I can't remember who it was. So maybe I need to go on the Hobbycraft website and see if they've got it and do an order with Hobbycraft. Can't remember. Oh, I think, was it Lauren? And her mum had been, and she was sending her mum back to get her some, maybe. Or was that the range? That could have been the range. That was probably the range, actually. This is what you get for watching a lot of Flosstubers. You can't remember where you've seen what a lot of the time. Yeah, and then my next whip is, so I did mention last time, because I had finished my final 6 for 60 with Lainey, because I joined in with Lainey's 6 for 60. I'd finished that and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to start next, so I was probably just going to work on something that I already had on the go. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to get my black sampler out. So I started this, I think it was last September, sure it was, yeah, for Black Sampler September, and it stitches through the years, and this is a freebie. So if you follow her, the link that I've got in the description box, there is a link there to her freebies, and this is, you'll find that there. So I thought, right, I'm going to get this back out and I'm going to stitch on it until it's finished. So I'm just stitching it in DMC 310, and that's one of the little floss cards that Sharon, Shaz Bruce on Instagram, sent me. And I didn't have a big enough hole punch, so I just had to use a small. It looks a mess. I'm using a small hole punch and trying to make a bigger hole. So I'm stitching it on 25 count vintage marble by Zweigart, and that is where I am at. So not too much to go. Since I picked it up again, I've started I think I'd made a small start on the border, so I continued with the border. I've stitched wrought by my hand, and then I'm just going back to do the border. I might have got this finished on Saturday night. I don't know whether I would, but we had a storm. I have never, ever in my 59 years seen anything like it. I had the door open. We have French doors out onto the patio. Sounds very posh. It is not. Yeah, and I could hear rumbling in the distance, and then I started seeing the lightning, and it was constant lightning and constant rumbling, and it was just, so that's that way, and it was just flash, 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 and it was just like, Christ, we're surrounded. And then I heard it start to rain, so I closed the door, and my God, it's a good job I did, because the wind whipped up, the rain came down, it was battering against the doors, the windows, obviously. And my husband had gone upstairs to have a look out of our bedroom window, and Abby was already in there watching it. And I just shouted, "Is that hail?" "No, it's rain." And it was literally horizontal rain. It was like a monsoon. I honestly never ever seen anything like it. And like I said, it was constant lightning, constant rumbling. It was a bit scary. I thought, it's like the end of the world. In fact, somebody on our town's group on Facebook likened it to a scene from War of the Worlds. And then my husband took a video once the rain, it had calmed a little. It was still heavy, but the wind wasn't quite so bad. And he took a video out the front door, and it was crazy, absolutely crazy. There was trees down blocking roads, debris everywhere. So yeah, there was people out in the villages who had lost power. How we didn't, I honestly don't know, but I think it was more, I think the actual eye of the storm was more over the villages. And I'm waffling now, aren't I? So yeah, it was like nothing I'd ever seen. Even people older than me, you know, sort of in their 70s, have never ever seen anything like it here before. But there is sort of there is a theory that we very, very rarely get a storm overhead, because it seems to get, we have a freshwater lake to the west, the sea to the east, and it seems to be that once it gets to that lake, it goes round. Now, how if there's any scientific explanation for that, I do not know, because we do sometimes get overhead storms. But yeah, so that's what I stitched. Sorry, I really went off tangent then, but yeah, never want to see another storm like that, but obviously with climate change and everything, I think we will. Right, so final whip, because now on a Sunday, now that I've finished Be Kind to One Another, I'm just stitching. I'm doing secret stitching at the moment. So the final whip is this one, and it's Heaven and Earth Designs Guardian. It's the black and white version, and if you're new, you will see that I started it on the 19th of April 2007. Exactly. So earlier on in the year, I decided to pick this up again and try and get it finished. I worked out that if I did 100 stitches a day, I could get it finished in 2 years. So I have just finished this partial page here, and I have started on this full page here. So that was page 20 of 30, so now I'm on to page 21. So I picked this back up in February, so I don't think I'm doing too badly actually. So now if I stick at 100 stitches a day, I can finish it in just over a year. Because some days I am doing more than 100 stitches just to try and get it finished sooner. So I think what I'm going to do, so this partial page here underneath there, sorry, this full page here underneath here will be a partial page. So I think to break up the monotony of doing full pages, I'm going to do the partial page at the bottom and then do full page, partial page, full page, partial page, etc. And so on and so forth until it's finished. And that's 25 count. I don't know, it's an antique white or something like that, I think. And I gridded this myself, obviously, at that time. I did not know about the pre-gridded fabrics. So that's all my works in progress. So we'll move on to haul now. And I did mention this the last time I filmed, that I was waiting for this to come. So this is 20 count Balana, which is an even weave, and I think it's just a white, I think. It's not, I know there was two whites, it's not a bright white, it's the next white, I believe. I don't think it actually says, no, it just gives a colour number. And I have got a piece much larger than I needed because I had to get that one. So this is for my first long dog. And then I have, oh, not that one. A lot of thread, 15 skeins of Anchor, 403, because it was cheaper. It's at the moment, I'm sure I said 64p last time and I'm wrong, it was 69p at Hobby Jobby. I don't know if it still is, but it was. So that's going to be for the bulk. So the one that I am going to start, I'm waiting for it to arrive. It hasn't arrived yet. I ordered it last Tuesday and it was dispatched Friday, and I'm still I'm not going to go into it, but I do know that the place that I ordered from can sometimes take a while to dispatch. So as I say, it was dispatched Friday and I've only just had tracking today. So the one that I'm going to be doing is the Pilgrim, and I'll show that when it arrives. And I was thinking that I would do the wording that's on it in a different colour. I've seen it done, I'm sure I've seen it done in like a gold, and I think I've seen it done in red, but I'm not 100% sure. So my original thought was DMC 115, but then I found this in one of my project bags. It doesn't show up very well there. It's Carrie's Creations Old World Red, so I might use that, but we'll see. I don't know when I'm going to start it. No idea when I'm going to start it. I've got it in the project bag that Pauline sent me, and the new style that she wanted to share me to share. And thank you for your feedback as well. Hopefully Pauline will have read your comments. Right, so what am I going to do now? It's haul. Gosh, I think this is going to be a bit of a long video today. I'm very sorry. Yeah, I'll do Stitchy Kindness, Happy Mail, however we want to call it, name it, call it. So first of all, lovely Angela, Mrs. Miggins. Oh gosh, Angela. I can't remember what the rest of it is. Anyway, it's Angela, Mrs. Miggins. She had won a chart in Yaz's floss tube, and in between entering and Yaz's video, she'd already purchased it, so she asked Yaz very kindly to send it to me, and it's this one. So this is The Light of the Christmas Star, and it's one of Yaz's newest releases. I think it was one that was released at Marketplace that's just been on, and I think this is beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and I love how she's finished it as well, absolutely gorgeous. So Angela and I are hoping to do a sal of this at some point. So if you could let me know, Angela, when you fancy, or we can chat about it via email and see when we can both fit it in. So thank you so much, Angela. That was really, really lovely of you, and thank you, Yaz, also for sending it to me. And then I had a lovely package from Ruth, who is countrygal854 on Instagram. Sorry for the crinkly rattling. I should have taken it out of the bag before, and there's going to be more crinkly rattling as well in a minute. So she sent me a lovely card, some lovely words inside. Wouldn't that be a really nice place to be? There's some peace and quiet. So she sent me this lovely, lovely package. So there are 2 pot holders that Ruth made. Aren't they beautiful? I could not make anything like this. Really, really couldn't. They are absolutely gorgeous. And then, sorry, I really should have got these out first. She made a pin using Yaz's tutorial. That is absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. Really, really love that. So pretty. And then she also sent me these pins. A little sheep, a bird, a tomato, and a snowman. That's so pretty. I do love pins, and it's something that I don't tend to treat myself to, so I'm just going to pop that back in there because I don't want to lose that. So that will be getting popped into one of my pillows. And then she also sent me this lovely chart from Plum Street Samplers, which is Hello Winter. And honestly, Ruth, I have looked at this so many times and then not bought it. So I shall be stitching that sometime. Possibly won't be until next year, but I will certainly be stitching that. And then last but not least, look at this. Flosstubers StitchySally. Isn't that gorgeous? Absolutely beautiful. Love, love, love it. I love everything. Absolutely love everything. This little scissors here, so that's a little pin with the scissors on. And then I'm just going to cover up her name because it's got her full name on the back. Little 2023 charm and a handmade by label. It's just, and as I've said before, when I've had lovely packages from people, it's like I don't deserve it, I'm just me, but it just makes your day. It really, really does just make your day. Doesn't matter what sort of a day you're having. Could be the best day ever, could be the crappiest day ever. But it just boosts your mood and everything. So thank you so much, Ruth. I cannot tell you how much that meant. I really can't. So thank you so much. Right, pop that over there. What else have I got? Right, I think I did mention last time that well, the time before I was talking about maybe trying to do a full year of not buying any charts next year. But I know damn well it isn't going to happen because I struggled this year to make it for the first 6 months of the year. So I know I'm not going to do a full 12 months. I mean, obviously, if I had to, I would have to. But I don't, if that makes any sense. And I did mention in my last Flosstube that Crafting Kirsty, she'd emailed me, but I didn't want to talk about what she's doing until she'd put her video out, which she has now. So what Kirsty has done, if you don't watch her, please do go and watch her, because she's fantastic. She doesn't just do cross stitch, she does crochet, she does quilting, she does knitting, and she has some of the most amazing, huge projects. Yeah, so what she's doing is she's picked 2 points in the year, which is her birthday and then December. And what she does is she puts, if she sees something on Flosstube that she likes, she makes a note of it, or she'll pop it on a wish list, and things like that. And then when it comes to July, she had a look at her wish list. Some she said I couldn't even remember what they looked like, you know, if it didn't have pictures. And she said I had a look. I thought, no, don't like that anymore. And then she splurged, and she said making yourself go without is like being on a diet where you can't eat particular things, you just want it all the more. And that is perfectly right. I know full well I'm not gonna be able to do it. So I think what I'm going to do next year is, rather than trying to make myself go until July like I did this year, I mean I did nearly make it, I'm going to go with April, August and December and see how I go. And then just put things on a wish. I mean I do have a wish list at 1, 2, 3 Stitch. I'm sure I have one at Patchwork Rabbit, but I don't actually know. I need to go and have a look because I don't even know if there's anything on it or what's on it, if I still want it. So I'm going to have to go and have a look at that. And then I will make lists of if I see anything on a Flosstube. I've got one up on Pinterest actually as well, so I put stuff up on there as well. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And obviously threads and fabric are going to be allowed, because if I need them to start something, I've got to get them, otherwise I can't stitch. So, and I'm also in the process of going through what I've got, deciding whether I still want to stitch stuff, and if I don't, getting rid. As Kirsty says, there's nothing wrong with impulse buying. Absolutely nothing wrong with impulse buying, because we all do it. But sometimes that impulse buy can be a mistake. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do next year. I was going to show what I was going to do for my 6 for 60, but it's getting a bit long, so I think I'll save that for next time rather than put you through even more now. So right, last time I just did a little giveaway for this card with a chart on the back. It's a Hands Across the Sea. I'm not going to stitch that, so I'd rather it go to somebody else. And there was only one person who wanted this, so Natalie, Home Sweet Home Handmade, this is yours. So if you could just pop me either a message on Instagram with your name and address, or email me at the email in the description box below, I'll get that in the post to you. What I'll do is I won't write in it or anything, just in case you want to send it on to somebody else at any time. I'll just pop it in an envelope for you rather than do that. Yeah, so that is that. What else? I haven't made a list of Flosstubers that I've been watching. I really need to get back to that. As I said, I did watch Kirsty Crafting Kirsty. I've watched Lauren Flossabilities, who had her mum with her this time. And I did have a bit of a like, oh my god, because Lauren's mum, who is Mama Flossabilities, as you will know if you watch Lauren, she is stitching a long dog and she's doing it in a sulky variegated, and I'm like, oh my god, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I think of that? I mean, my problem was I was going to do it in a sulky. I was going to do it in a black sulky when I eventually start it, but then because it's 20 count, I thought the sulky might be a bit bulky, and yeah, that was a rhyme, wasn't it? So obviously I ended up with just the normal thread. But yeah, I did comment saying I need to buy another one now so that I can I can do it in a variegated sulky and choose a different fabric. Oh, that is one rabbit hole I really do not need to go down. I really, really don't. Yeah, have you seen the new one? The Saga Long Dog Samplers. Oh my god. I'd never finish that in a month of Sundays. So it's fantastic. It's absolutely gorgeous. Love all the elements of it, but I don't think so. I don't think I could do it. They say never. And then I'd like to say a huge welcome back to Flosstube, she's Stitchy Steph on Instagram, and her Flosstube channel is Stephanie Overfield. I will link it down below. Now, I didn't know Steph had a Flosstube channel. I followed her on Instagram for quite a while. I had no idea she had a Flosstube channel. So I watched her the other day. So if you haven't watched her, please do go say hello, give her a bit of love, some Flosstube love. Yeah, so yeah, pop on over and watch Steph if you haven't before. Trying to think who else I've watched. Lynn, the Lancashire Stitcher, watched her yesterday. Sarah's Stitchy Spot, I watched her. I watched Charlie, Stitches with Charlie Feathers. Always love watching her. I always feel at peace when I watch her. And she did Out in Nature, and I could hear robins. Singing. And you know me, you know how much I love my robins. So yeah, I think I will leave that there because we're nearly at 50 minutes and I don't like to go over an hour, so I'm not going to show you my 6 for 60. I'll do that next time. So yeah, that is that. So I will see you all in a couple of weeks' time, hopefully. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and as always, do enjoy every single stitch. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.